Welcome to SpeedTrack. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in logical order. And this is the SpeedTrack. The SpeedTrack is a series of short videos designed to get you to create a meaningful application very quickly. Being able to save our stuff to a file means we can turn off the computer and go home. We can enjoy our lives. We've got nothing to worry about because the next day we know when we get back to our work and turn on our computer, all our stuff will be there. Right? Sort of. Yeah, it's there, but we need to write a routine that will bring it back to the computer the way it was when we first left it. This is where the load button comes into play. Let's take a look at that file processing flowchart we used in the last video. Just like in the save routine, we need to open a file. This time we'll tell the computer to open the file for input. Last time we just opened the file for output. And just like the save routine, when we're all done processing, we want to close the file. So it's that open, that close, stuff in the middle type thing. That keeps it protected. The middle part, where we do all the processing, is what's different. Essentially, we read each record into the file, one record at a time. And we read each record. As we read each record, we'll pop it into our Listbox one record at a time. You can do that directly. Or you can do it like I do and take the extra step and store it in a variable first and then move the contents out of the variable to a Listbox. Again, one record at a time. How do we know when we are done? Easy. When the file was created, it closed with an EOF or end of file indicator following the last record. When we run into that during the read process, we'll know we are done. Take a look. Okay, doing the load button isn't all that much different. Again, you have to open the file. This time you read it and then you close it. So open, do something, close. Open, do something, close. The do something can be either read or write. And you're going to have a loop involved in that thing so you can all the records are in there. There are some little differences in load. You won't use the same kind of loop. You use something a little different because you're looking for end of file on this thing. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and double click on the load button. We'll create our event. There's our blank event. It too is going to be using the system I/O. What we're going to do first is we're going to put a comment down here. And we're going to say read the contents of a text file to a Listbox. So basically, we're going to take the the file we're reading and place it in the Listbox. A bunch of adds we're going to be doing. This is kind of like we did when we used the add button, but we're going to be doing over and over again by reading the file. So again, we're going to use a string variable, string, and we're going to call it str list box record. Now, when we did our save, I could have we used the same variable name. But I didn't put it up in the global area. So when you create a variable inside a routine like a click event, it can only be seen by the load in here. So our variable that's sitting up here in our save routine can only be seen by this routine. So I need to actually establish it again. Or I could have put it way up on top with all the other variables and then done that. You'll see more about that when you learn more about how to create variables, where to put them, and those kinds of things. So we're just going to create this, and we'll give it a comment, and we're going to say that holds current data from file. Then we're going to go down here, and we're going to say stream reader. So we're using stream reader now instead of the stream writer. We use stream writer up here. Is going to be equal to. And we'll give it a name, input file. It sounds like a very input file. Oh boy, I can't spell again. F-I-L-E. There it goes. Okay, input file. Hit a semicolon, and this is going to establish a file to read data from. And why do I have errors there? I don't have errors there. As I do input file, I see what I did wrong. I got a capital I here. I need a small I. That should be much better. Very fussy, isn't it? You've got to watch your caps. You got to watch your semicolons, all those kinds of things. But the nice thing is it tells you something's wrong. Hey man, fix it. Okay, we're going to say input file. is equal to file dot open text and this is where we're going to state that our quotes again. My Listbox file .txt, same name we set up above. Open the file by name. So you can see this is the same one we're using up here. Why is my input file giving me a problem here? I'm still having that problem. String reader. Oh, and the equals, that's the problem. I've got the equal sign. I don't want an equal sign in there. I want to put blank there. Because notice stream writer, output file, stream writer, input file. You don't have it. You're simply naming it. Stream reader, input file. It's not an equal sign. So it's there. So now we've got our list box. Same file is being named here. And we can go on. We've got this thing set. So once we've opened the file, we can now read the records using a loop. Now this is going to use this a little different. It's just going to use a while loop. And we're given the opportunity to read records over and over again. And how do you know when the file ends? Well, there's actually an end of file indicator in those files that kind of tells you where it is. In the old days, when we used to do programs in COBOL, we might put a record on the back end which had all nines in it, 99999. If you found that 9, you were done, and you could stop the program. In this case, it's very automated now, where there's a file and a file indicator inside the file, and we can ask it if we reach that end of file. So we're going to do that here. We're going to say while, we're going to say input file dot end of stream. It's actually end of stream indicator. That's what that thing's called. Is set equal to false. I want to set my braces. So I'm going to set my loop up here. So we're looking at, well, input file end of stream is false. Well, it's not an end of file, in other words. Do this over and over again. When we bump into the end of the file, turn the thing to true and then get out of here. We can close our file down. So we're going to go ahead and write our code for this thing. What's our input file going to do? We're going to take our string listbox record and we're going to make it equal to our input file dot readline. This is the command to read a record from the file. Just like that. That's all it does. And we can say read a line of data into a string variable. Now you could move directly into the list box here if you wanted to, but I like to put things into a variable, so I'm doing it one step at a time and going through this. Now that we have our data inside our string list box record, kind of like in our text box, we now can take that and add it to our list box. So we'll do that right here by saying lbx stuff dot items, well, got to spell it right, dot items dot add str listbox record, and end that with a semicolon, and that will add contents of the variable to the list box, just like we did when we did our add routine in our program before. That's it. That's all it takes. And it's going to go through and do this over and over again until it comes to the end of the stream, when there's nothing else left out there. If we got 6 records out there, we'll do it 6 times. If there's 20 records out there, do it 20 times. It'll just do it over and over again and keep on adding it to the list box record. Don't have to worry about any counts or anything like that. However, once we get done with this, we're going to go ahead and, oops, actually we're done with that loop, so we can go down here under the method and go ahead and say input file this.Close. Just like we did with the right record, we end up closing. We're all done. We open it, close it, and we do work on it in here. And you want to keep that open and the close as close to the work done as possible, so you don't have a file sitting there that's open there. Once that's done, there's only a little bit of house cleaning we got to do for our form, because remember we're looking at this thing and we've got this thing up here to worry about. So we need to actually update the number of records we've got in here. How do we do that? Well, we ask the list box, how many records did you put up there? We could have counted them, but the list box is going to tell us that. So we'll go down here and give it a shot, and we'll say int record count. Our good old record count we've been using since we first started writing this thing is going to be equal to LBX stuff dot items dot count, and end it right there. And that gets count and saves in an integer variable. And now we're going to display it. LBL record count dot text, put in the text property, it's going to be equal to int record count to string. Places the count in a label. That's it. File save. Start the program. Now we saved the file before, so we've got one out there we can actually use, and our program's secure. We're just going to do a load. And it read those 3 records: coffee beans, bread, and milk. It brought them in here nicely. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to do. Okay, very similar to the save routine, wasn't it? Make sure you refer to the flowchart as you create this routine and the save routine for that matter. It'll help you understand that 3 steps: open, process, and close. They're all there. They're all important. Okay, one thing left: delete. It's a simple one, and we pretty much forgot all about it with the other things that were going on in this application. So we need to take care of that. So we'll do that next time. We'll do the delete next time. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, please subscribe. I appreciate that. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.